Good morning. Okay, guys, thank you so much. Good morning. Do not forget about your cameras before we start, okay? Okay, welcome. Okay. Okay, guys, well, I'm going to start explaining very quickly this. Okay, don't worry, miss. Okay. Okay, so good morning. Well, we're going to start today. These are, well, just a reminder of your activities that, well, some students have not sent it yet. Remember, this is considered the first grammar-related activity. You still have some time to send it. I haven't, well, some of them I haven't checked them because of time. Well, do not forget, graded, well, you still have the folder activity and also the grammar workbook graded activity number 9, okay? So please, you still have these 4 activities to send. I see some students have not sent it yet, so, well, not my fault. Well, so please, even if it's out of date, please send them, okay? I recommend that. Should I go to the bathroom? Sure, miss, you can go, don't worry. So guys, let's start working right now. Remember, in the last class, we were checking basically workbook unit 1, and we started checking page 10. We were advancing with page number 10, in which we were checking some contents about when and while. As I was explaining, the use of when is regularly associated with the use of past simple, and the use of while is associated with the use of past continuous. So we advanced and we were checking each one of these exercises last week. Remember, affirmative, negative, past, simple form. Then we had some affirmative and negative past continuous form. Then we advanced with more, for example, on exercise number 3, you had to order some questions, order some structures in past, simple, and so on. After that, we moved to exercise number 4, in which you had to match when and while and the other half of the sentence. Okay, so that was basically the 4 activities that we did on Friday, the final round. So today we're going to start with number 5 and 6, and after that we will move to a very quick quizzes activities I have prepared for you. Okay, let me see what you said in the chat. Okay, thank you for telling me, Miss Lucas. Okay, let's go to number 5, and this is number 5, guys. Okay, I'm going to give again also some time for you to work. Well, we'll give you around 3 minutes as usual. So you can start answering in the correct form of these different verbs. Remember, you have to complete this dialogue between Paul and Sally with the past simple or past continuous form of the verbs. Okay, so take your time. Let's wait 1 minute. And after that, I will start asking some of you for the correct answers. Okay. Do not forget the students who have not justified about your cameras. You need to turn that on. Thank you so much. Speaking for Scott, in this case, for example, Mr. Urango, Orellano, Miss Kimberly Bonilla. Okay, thank you so much. Let's go to, well, let's start analyzing the first case. Mr. Borges, for example, good morning. Do you know the answer in this case for number 1? Which should be your answer for number 1, Mr. Remember, you have a problem with your microphone. You can answer on the chat also, so you can share your answers with us. Thank you, Mark. That's right. We have basically here this time expression last 9, which is basically past. Let's wait for Borges. Do you know the answer, mister? If you don't know the answer, remember you can answer on the chat also, like, I don't know, etc. Okay, let's see. Mr. Borges have no answers. Let's go for the second person next to my screen. Okay, Mr. Spooner, do you know the answer for number one? What about number? You have last night. It's basically a time expression for past forms. So the answer would be, consider this, you have the,
You,
okay, tell me, don't worry.
you has a good time with Leo last night?
Not exactly. Are you sure? Okay, well, let's
Mm,
keep analyzing this. Thank you, Mr. Gamarra. Let's see who else have answers in the chat. Did you have? Yeah. Thank you, guys. Remember, the correct grammatical construction for this is did you have? Okay. No, I didn't. No, or no, I did not. Number two, let's see who's next on my screens. Okay, let's go with Mr. Cariana. Good morning. Can you tell us which is the answer for number two, Mr. In this case? Let's see. Yep. Thank you, Mark. I agree with your answer too. It's a very good idea. Considering that we have then when Leo, so that when gives us the idea. Let's see, Mr. Cariana, do you know the answer? No answers, Mr. Cariana. Okay, let's move to someone else. Okay, Miss Arcos, for example, you have no or have the answer for number two. In this case, you have no, I didn't, we space walk. Okay, remember, Miss, you can answer on the chat. Walk. I would say more like the other answer, but let's see. Okay, someone else who have the answers. Remember, guys, we have two answers in the chat right now, and both of them are different. We have, for example, we're walking and we have walk. But I think it's where we say we're walking. And I will explain with the following answer, which is this case so. What happens here, guys, between the use of past continuous and past simple? As I have told you, well, there are some exceptions, but regularly, if after when we use a past simple. So if you have these exercises in which you have to write past simple and past continuous, think about it when you see when. This is like a math equation. If you see when here, the following part of a sentence would be a simple past. In this case, as so. So by just an inference in here, we could say that the other part of the sentence would be, of course, past continuous. Okay. We were walking past the cinema when Leo saw whatever he saw. Okay. That's an idea for you to work these exercises. And number four, which would be the answer for number four? Let's see, in this case, who's next on my screen? Well, after Miss Arcos, let's see who's next in the cameras. Okay, Miss Canessa, for example. What answer could you tell us for number four, Miss? Ideas for number four? Let's see in the chat. Didn't want. Yep, I would say that too. Didn't want to see it, but I agree. Thank you. Let's see, Mr. Rellano, for example. Which should be your answer for number five? Yes, but I hate sci-fi. Anyway, comma. Soy por Rellana. Ideas. Fell is telling us Mr. Coriana. Yes, could be fell. Let me see. False. No, Mr. Rellana, it's not false because we're talking and the instruction says very clearly you have to use past simple or past continuous. So it's absolutely not false. So anyway, I fell asleep while Mr. Sanchez, which would be which is the answer in the next part of the sentence. As I told in the example of Sally, in the first part we have present past simple, and then What should we use after this? Considering that we have here while. Okay, let's see in the chat and getting some answers. Woke. Yeah, that will be, well, that's number 7. Yeah, woke. Thank you. Woke. So you know the answer for number 6, Mr. Sanchez. But what about number 6? Not sure, mister. Okay, let's go in this case with Miss. Okay, let's in the chat. Yeah, that's the answer, Miss Vera. Thank you so much. Miss Diaz. Well, you have to correct that one, Miss Diaz. The cinema was empty. Yeah, it's right. Okay, Mr. Cervantes, for example, you know the answer for number 6. Remember, you can answer on the chat or in the microphones. While what happened here in number 6? Ideas, Miss? I'm not sure. Okay, let's go with Mr. Random, for example, which should be your answer for number 6. Okay, let's go for Eileen. No answers. Okay, let's move then to watch. Well, most of you are telling me watch, but I think it's better if we say it was watching. Okay, as I explained in the first part here in the exercise, we have this case. Okay, I'm going to underline it. Okay, so whenever we have these examples in which we mix past simple and past continuous, we have to pay a lot of attention to this part, to the word, in this case, when. So regularly after when, as I told you, we have past simple. So obviously, the first part of the sentence would be past continuous. Remember when we use in this case, for example, in this case, we have while, next part is past continuous. When, and after when we use past simple. While, and after while we use past continuous. So this part, of course, would be past simple, okay? And this part would be past continuous. Remember to keep in mind, it's like a math equation. If we use in the first part past continuous, the next part, of course, will be past simple. If the first part is past simple, the next part is past continuous. That's more or less the idea on these kind of exercises. Okay, we're going to keep checking them, so don't worry about it. So in this case, of course, after when, in number 7, I guess I already told you the answer even for this. Some of your partners will have told me the answers already. So in this case, in number 7, which is a correct answer. See in the chat, yes, of course we have woke. When I woke up, the cinema, in this case, coma was empty. Thank you. What about number 9? Which should be the answer for number 9? Let's see who was next. Cameras. What about okay, Mr. Durango, for example, which is your answer for number 9? You have a question right there. Thank you, Mark. I agree with you. Let's see, Mr. Durango, you have a question. So yes, thank you, Ms. Vera. Could also be. I think. Okay, not sure, Mr. Durango. Okay, let's start checking the answer. In this case, would be more like, was Leo waiting for you outside? Thank you. Yep. It's better if we say, was Leo waiting for you outside instead of did Leo wait for you outside? Okay, it's much better. And finally, we have, of course, past simple. No, he wasn't. I phoned him and he was at home. Okay, we will give you 1 minute so you can compare and check your answers in case you need to. Okay, take your time and we'll move to the following exercises. We still have one more exercise to complete. Sorry, can you repeat? Okay, thank you. Let's move to the next one, guys. Number six. Number six. Well, we're going to do it in another well in quizzes activity. So yes, of course, Mr. Codiana. Yeah, you had class participation. Thank you for telling me. Well, we're going to work it in a quizzes, so you can write the same answers that you will give in your quizzes activity for in number six. Okay, let's go to the quizzes part and let's start checking this. Okay, let me see what it is. Okay, just give me a second. I haven't pressed publish here. Okay, let me change the date. It's 0706. Okay, now it's ready. Which was the last word? Okay, let's go right to the book very quickly. This was the last word, fond. P-I-H-O-N-E-D. Phone him and he was at home. Okay, that was the last word. Let's go to the quizzes right now. Here we go. Please not forget to participate. Thank you so much. I'm going to copy the link. Okay, thank you, Ms. Bacaro. Okay, don't forget about accessing to the link. So you can join, okay? Okay, thank you, Ms. Luque. Thank you, Maduro, Taylor, Charcos, Vanessa. Okay, guys.
Se me va a apagar se me va a apagar la cámara porque voy a salir de eso.
Okay, guys, we have 14. Let's wait until you're all ready. Remember, we have 36 students in the Zoom session, so there should be at least 30 people, I guess. Well, let's wait. 22, 23. Thank you, guys. 24. Okay, let's start with Jerry. Okay, 29. And see who's next. After Chang. Okay, Mark, thank you. So let's go with the first question very quickly, guys. Everything that I'm going to ask you is this in this moment. Question in past simple. I need to check if you recognize when I tell me a question in past simple. Any question in past simple that comes to your mind, whatever question. Because I saw some mistakes when we were working the exercises. So, and you should know by now how to make questions in past simple. Okay, take your time. So have 30 seconds left. $20 seconds. I only see 8 answers, guys. Hurry up. Have 20 seconds left. Okay, time to check, guys. Let's check your contributions for this. Did he go to the beach? Yep, that's right. Did you do your homework? Did you have a good time? Did you go to a supermarket? Did you play the game yesterday? Do you go to the school? That's what I want to check. Check. You go, okay, thank you, Ms. Gomar in the chat. I agree. Did you go to school? Ms. Durango. Okay, you can write your answer in the chat in case your quiz didn't work. Do you go to school? Chan, be careful. This is present simple. Questions. Do you go to school? Your correct question would be, did you go to school? I saw a movie yesterday. No, miss. A question, not an affirmation. Did you watch the film yesterday? I ran into the ravine. What is ravine? I don't know, but remember, it was a question in past simple. Thank you, miss. What did you do yesterday? What we did yesterday? Remember, what did we do yesterday? And then the question mark. What do you eat? Mister, you're not reading the instructions. I said past simple, not simple present. What did he cook? Thank you, Miss Castro. She played in the computer. Remember, miss, a question. Who did you see? Did you close the door? You use the bowl. Remember, continue the same. Read the instruction. Question in past simple. Okay. Okay, let's see in the chat. You're telling me questions. Did you go to the match the last week? It's telling us Miss Castro. I was in the train. Well, you're telling me an affirmation in past simple, Matias. I was in the train. Okay, I didn't know that word. I didn't know that word, Barranco. Thank you. I'm learning a new word today. Okay, don't worry, miss. You didn't know it was a question, but your answer is grammatically correct. Miss Barba says, did you woke up at 8 o'clock yesterday? Miss, remember, did you wake up at 8 o'clock? Because the second verb goes in present, like did you wake up? When was the last time that you had such fun? Is telling us Miss Kimberly. Yep, your answer is correct. Mr. Okay, thank you, Miss Castro, for telling me. Thank you, guys. Very good, very useful. Remember the structure, okay, auxiliary, then the noun, and then the verb in present, okay, without changes. So we don't say did you did your homework, we say did you do your homework, okay? Let's go to the next slide, guys. Next slide says, now a question in past continuous. How do you write a question in past continuous? Any question? Okay, you have a lot of time, guys. Well, I will give you around 1 minute only. You shouldn't take too long with this one. Okay, let's wait. What about a question past continuous? Let's see what you write. Remember, as usual, students who have cameras off who have not justified to turn it on. Thank you so much. Okay, we have, well, a few more minutes. Well, a few more seconds, not minutes. Okay, let's check. Where are you going? Well, your question has a mistake model here. I just realized it. You're confusing where as a question mark, this where, and you're confusing this where, okay? It's a little bit different where, donde, and where like fuimos, fueron, whatever. So it's different, okay? You be careful to correct that, okay? So you write a correct past continuous question. Next Miss Vera says, what's she eating this morning? Pizza this morning. Very good. Where were you living? Very good, miss. Where was he going? Perfect. Thank you, Rea. What were you wearing at the party? Was I playing? Were you going to the cinema? Were your friends training with you? Were you talking about me? Were you watching? Check your spelling, Scott, about watching. You don't say watching, you say watching, like that, okay? Are you going to my home? Again, Chang, you're confusing present continuous with past continuous. Your sentence would be more like this, Chang. Check. Were you going to my home? Like that, okay? Were they studying? Very good. Thank you, Ms. Rano. Were they playing school? Was she working? Says Ms. Lucas. I was playing video games. Your sentence, as I always would like to remark when you have well-constructed grammatical sentences, but remember the instructions, guys. Follow the instructions. You had a question in past continuous. You're giving me an affirmation in past continuous. Okay. Don't forget about it, Mr. Tango. Mr. Vargas says, what were you doing 5 minutes ago? Where were the children hiding? Were you busy? Well, that will be more like past simple, but it's acceptable. Thank you so much, Miss Vanessa. What are you cooking? Okay, let's see. I lost Miss Romero's answer. Where is it? Okay, where is your answer, Miss? I don't see it. It disappeared on my screen. Okay, let's wait. Okay, there it is. Miss Romero's answer. Okay, here it is. What are you cooking? That's a present continuous, Miss. It's better if you say what were you cooking. That will be past. Okay, I'm going to correct it here. What were you cooking? Remember? Were you cooking? Okay. When was he running to the room? Okay, that's Miss Arcos. I agree with your answer, Miss. What was he running? Okay, that's past continuous. She was dinner. Note, oh, it's not okay, Miss Ordóñez. Your answer is incorrect. That will be more like past simple. And please check what you write, guys. I don't like translations, as I told you, but sometimes it's good if you translate what you're writing. If you're telling me she was dinner, that sounds like someone was going to eat this person. You're telling me she was dinner. Ella era la cena. So it's not so correct to say that. So don't forget about it. She was dinner. No. Was she going to dinner? That's different. Ella iba a cenar. Was she living in Ecuador? Says Miss Diaz. Where are you going? Says Maduro. Thank you. Well, they're telling me that present continuous. It's very Maduro if you say something like, for example, like, where were you going? You see, Maduro, this sounds like a tongue twister, like, where were you going? But this first where means like donde, and this second where means iban, okay? Estaban yendo. Where were you going? Mr. Orellana says, what was Daniel doing at the store? Yes, your answer is correct, Mr. Orellana, but remember at the beginning of the sentences, we don't use a question mark as we do in Spanish. In Spanish, we say, oh, ¿a dónde fuiste? And then you write at the beginning the question mark. We don't write question marks here at the beginning in English. That's incorrect. Okay, do not forget about it. Where was he going? Where they go? That will be more like past simple, Ms. Brittany Castro. Was she doing sport when I called her? What were you doing when you broke out your leg? Were they buying food? What were you doing when you factored? Okay, well, thank you so much, guys, for your contributions here. And well, let's move to the last exercise, which is, as I told you, the exercise that you had in your grammar workbook. So you have to describe something unusual that happened to you in the last months. Think about it, guys. What is something unusual? Maybe a story, maybe something you heard, maybe just something you saw, something that someone else told you. The purpose of this is that you use, it could be only like one paragraph, 2, 3 to 4 lines, no more than that, in which you use past simple, past continuous, when and while. I want you to mix all of them in one paragraph. Okay. Remember, guys, the content that you write here, you can write it also in your workbook later. So if you are doing this activity, you can check the video. Let's suppose you write your answer here, and then you can check the video and write the same in your workbook. Okay, so there is no problem at all. The same, if you already work this activity in your workbook, you can copy the same answer, so there is no problem. Okay. So what about it, guys? Think carefully, and well, this will be the last activity of this class. Remember, describing only something unusual that happened to you in the last month, like a story. But using, remember, these structures: past simple, past continuous, when, and while. Basically, you have to try to include these 4 structures in this paragraph. Okay, thank you. Well, still have 3 minutes left. Okay, we have 2 answers. Let's wait 1 more minute and we start checking, okay? Okay, 3 more seconds and we start checking the 3 answers that we have in the chat. Sorry, in the quizzes. Okay, we have 4. Thank you.
Can I create a story?
Sorry, couldn't hear you, Miss Ashley.
Can I create a story?
Yes, that's the idea exactly. Also, story. Yep, you can write a story. There's no problem. It could be a good idea. Okay, let's start checking this. We have 6 answers by now. Okay, let's read it. Maduro says only 2. T-O. Okay, let's go to Mr. Vargas says, last week when I was in my parents' room, I felt something that was observing me, and I went to the bathroom and I saw a strange shadow in the mirror. Well, mister, that sounds like a horror story. Okay, you're 18, Miss Barba. Okay, thank you, Miss. Well, it sounds like a horror story, but very cool use of, when and while. When I was in my parents' bathroom, I felt something that was observing me. Use of past continuum. I went to the bathroom and saw a strange shadow in the mirror. My last mom, he was very bored. That's only past simple, but you can expand your answer, mister. That's only one sentence. A time ago, I went to a place called Mr. Joy. Okay, you're completing your answer. Thank you, Miss. Miss Castro says, last week we were all so calm and I went to my room to play video games. While my mom cooked, my daddy went shopping. It's better if you say here, Miss, while my mom was cooking, comma, my dad went shopping with my brother. That is, I stayed with my little sister and my mom. After a while, I heard someone cry in the bathroom. I thought it was my little sister, but she never entered the room, so she opened the door. There was no one. Was anyone? No, no one is scared. No, why? Well, that's also a horror story. I hope this is, a story and this is not real because it's kind of scary, the same as Mr. Vargas also. Let's go to Miss Yes says they were friends while they live in Ecuador. Well, you're telling me only one sentence, Miss Yes. Miss Ako says the previous morning I cut myself with a potato peeler when I was peeling a potato. Okay, that sounds tragic, Miss. Okay, let's see when I was previous morning I killed with potato peeler. It's better if you say Miss while I was peeling a potato. Okay, you can correct that when and use a while. Thank you so much, Miss. Mark says, when I went to the cinema, I saw a woman that was refusing to use her mask, and 2 policemen came over to see what happened. The 2 policemen got the woman, forced her to leave cinema, and she was screaming. I couldn't resist. I laughed so hard. Okay, well, let's go to Miss Calderon. Says, well, nothing fancy has happened to me, but a few days ago I went for a walk, and I was back when a rat appeared on the street. My sister was talking on the phone while ordering a taxi. Very good use of while here. And did not notice that a rat approached her and gave it a cry. Okay, rats are scary. Ms. Vaccaro says, what was the policeman telling us last month when we call it? You need to check your spelling here, Miss. Call it. I guess you're trying to say called, C-A-L-L-E-D. Naim says, well, I was in a pool at my mom's work and suddenly a gentleman came. That man was very furious and kicked a ball that flew out when suddenly a security came and got him out there because he was crazy. Meanwhile, I was helping my mom with work. Really, that happened to you, Miss? Well, I don't know what to say about it. That sounds scary. Miss Serrano says, a few days ago, I was in my room sitting on my bed and suddenly I felt a lightning bolt in the room. I was on my back and when I turned on, the LED lights came out nowhere. On my LED lights came on out of nowhere, being disconnected. That sounds strange also. Well, let's see. We don't have too much time left. Okay, we have a lot of answers. Let's see what we can see here. Miss Brittany Castro, I was packing my backpack in the car. I left the door open and my puppy ran out. Okay, Miss. That's well, you should be careful with your puppy. Miss Vera says, my parents were shopping when I finished my homework and realized what was it, but I heard a sound in my room. I walked slowly to my room with a pencil in my hand. Fastly, I jumped and turned on the light to fight with whatever was there. It was my dog eating toilet paper. I don't know why the dogs are obsessed with toilet paper, Miss. My dog also eats toilet paper. Miss Castro says, okay, you edited your answers. Thank you so much, Miss. Was no one, so I'm afraid I don't know what. And until now, I'm analyzing what happened. Okay, let's see. I don't remember, says Ricardo. Well, you have to write something, mister. I saw some shadows when I go to my dad's house. It was so scary. Well, you can expand your answer. Also, Miss. Thank you very much, guys. We're going to stop here. It's time to go. Well, you can still send your answers and we will check them next class. Awesome. Thank you so much. Well, and have a good day. See you, I guess, tomorrow. Goodbye. See you.